Hello, everyone. So today our notes are going to be over what is called the real number system. So basically what we are doing is we are classifying numbers. So on your notes right now, I would like for you to draw this circle. However, you do not have to draw the irrational circle. We do not do that in 6th grade. So let's talk about how this works. Let's start with natural numbers. Natural numbers are your counting numbers. So if I wanted to count the number of people in the room, I would start counting with 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Something to note is it does not include 0, because if I want to count the number of people in the room, I don't start with 0. I start with 1. So once again, natural numbers are our counting numbers. Now, the next one we have is a whole number. A whole number does not contain a fraction or a decimal. However, a whole number does include 0. So how this chart works, think about a video game. And with video games, you have to move up in levels. You don't want to go back down. So if I start here at natural and go up to whole, okay, I can say that a natural number is also a whole number. So your whole numbers include 1, 2, 3, 4, and 0. But I don't write the 1, 2, 3, 4 in the whole number spot. I just write it here in the natural. Now, what I cannot do is I cannot say that 0 is natural. Remember, I can't go down. I can only go up. Now, keeping that in mind, the next thing we have is an integer. An integer is a whole number and its opposite. So let's take the opposite of 2. Well, the opposite of 2 would be -2. So -2 is an integer, but it cannot be a whole number, nor can it be a natural number. But if I start here in the middle, +2 can be a natural number, a whole number, and an integer if I keep moving up in levels. 0 could only be a whole number and an integer as of right now. The last thing we have is rational numbers. Rational numbers include fractions and decimals. So a lot of the times you'll see your fractions and decimals. You can also include negative fractions and decimals. Okay, but one thing I want you to note is just because a decimal or a fraction has a negative does not make it an integer. All right, because of our definition, it's a whole number and its opposite. Decimals with negatives or fractions with negatives do not belong in integer spots, only the rational numbers. So I would say 1/2 is only a rational number. It cannot be the others. I could say 0 is an integer, as a whole number, integer, and a rational number because I'm going up in levels. So remember, you can move up, but you can't move down. So on the next slide, okay, I have some numbers placed in the circles. I want you to take a moment and write down which numbers are correctly placed, and we'll check your answer. So at this time, pause your video. All right, hopefully you paused your video, and let's talk about what we have in our circles. So I have the number 5 written in the natural spot, which this is correct. Now if I look at my whole number spot, I see a decimal here. I can't have a decimal in the whole number spot, so I have to X that out. That should have gone underneath rational. So let's take a look at integers. I see a -4. That is an opposite, so that is in the correct spot. However, 2, okay, should be placed in our natural number spot. -1.7 is a negative with the decimal, so that is in the correct spot. It can only be a rational number. However, -3 is placed in the wrong spot. That should be in the integer circle. So if you're able to use the chart and remember to move up in your levels and know that you can't go down, you're going to do fine with this. This is one of those topics where it's not the most important thing, and we're not going to be doing this constantly. Okay, so using this chart will help you with this. Now, you do have an assignment if you're an asynchronous learner. This needs to be taken care of today. So if you head on over to Google Classroom, underneath classwork, and you scroll down to week 4, you're going to see your Unit 1 quiz. Okay, you need to complete this today. This is due today. Okay, this is not a homework assignment where you normally have about 2 days to complete. You only have 2 days to complete this. Okay, otherwise it'll be late and we'll have to take off late points. All right, so you do not, the only assignment you have to complete is that Unit 1 quiz. All right, if you have any questions, make sure you reach out to your teacher.